won't accept that. Every one of my people can be saved.
Can you destroy all enemies without losing a unit in the SC2 Wings of Liberty campaign Brutal difficulty? Let's start with some rules. If I own it and it has hit points, it must survive. So I must not let my structures or units be destroyed, but this also applies to cluster bombs and spider mines, which won't be used. Things with timed lives, like mules and broodlings, are destroyed when their timer expires. All enemies must be destroyed, but if they can do that without my help, that's fine. And the rules don't apply to neutral or allies. The first mission is Liberation Day. My hero attacks a marine and runs away. I inconvenience a single enemy, but I still have full health. I should save. I don't consistently play perfectly, but I can compensate by saving often. I continued with this strategy until I reached the center of town. Then I put my marines in front of my hero, and whenever they were too injured, they ran away. When I got more marines in a drop pod event, I frantically panicked and saved them. I organized my marines by their health, and lure enemy marines away from their groups. I passed some enemies earlier, but I went back for them since part of this challenge is destroy all enemies. My hero still has full health until it runs to the front and lets enemies target it. I did this because allies joined me here, and this lets me protect them. I can't control my allies, and they love running into danger, but all 61 ally civilians survived anyway. Next mission is the Outlaws. I get Marines and SCVs. SCVs can repair mechanical stuff, including other SCVs, so I put them in the front. My allies have medics, which heal biological units. When I approach, they join me and become my units. You may notice that I saved every ally in these first two missions. Let's treat that as a bonus part of the challenge. When it's not too much trouble, I'll protect my allies. I move my barracks and leave a narrow gap between them, so the enemies come as a single file line. Buildings are amazing, including the enemy bunker. This is the only time in the entire campaign when not losing a unit is actually difficult. The first part of my plan is confront the bunker without other enemies. I can reliably do this by attacking during specific times, which I can check with the in-game clock, and not going too far forward. The plan was, put the SCVs in front and use the return cargo ability whenever an SCV is too injured. This would convince the AI that they should switch targets to a different SCV. The command card doesn't have a return cargo button. I thought of two solutions, but both were too difficult for me. The first is change the settings. However, I didn't find anything useful in the gameplay settings. The second solution was use a mysterious device called a keyboard. Normally, I just use the 4 arrow buttons and ignore the rest of the keyboard. I tried randomly mashing buttons on the rest of the keyboard. Although that didn't work, I did learn something. If I poke the keyboard in a particular spot, it does the return cargo command. But that spot is incredibly awkward and I can't control the timing precisely. And I need precise timing for this mission. So I failed the challenge and some of my SCVs died. They were my only casualties in the entire campaign. Anyway, the rest of the mission is much easier. The next mission is 0 Hour. My allies, Marsar colonists, have many buildings and doodads scattered around in many inconvenient places. In my first attempt, I built bunkers near them and protected my allies, but this cost too many minerals, the resource that I spend when I build stuff. So I didn't have enough left for my main army and I didn't destroy all the enemy bases. So I restart the mission, but this time I don't protect the Marsar colonists. I mine minerals, but not gas. I build a tech lab and a reactor with my 2 barracks. Maybe this was too much detail about my base. Anyway, I send out my starting marines and find some bird Zerg. The Zerg are bug-like aliens that are quite numerous but individually weak. I can't see bird units, but when I walk close they unburrow for an ambush. My main strategy against the Zerg is fight against small groups while my army stays together. Several small manageable fights are much better than one big fight where the Zerg overwhelm me. I built some medics for my army. They cost gas, but I get enough from the resource pickups. An enemy base is right beyond this ramp, but if I go up now, I would lose badly, so instead I build a barracks. Before enemies attack from the other side, I build bunkers right outside their base. Meanwhile, the construction of my barracks ended, and it flew into the enemy base, and lured enemies towards my army. Earlier, I built missile turrets, structures that attack flying units. Like most structures, they're overpowered, so they easily beat the Mutalisks to fly over. Then SCVs repair them. Zerg fall from the sky in drop pods. Some land near my bunkers, which is fine. Others will destroy my allies. My barracks continued luring Zerg out of their base until not many remained. Then my army moved in range of the Zerg buildings, and I get a message for the bonus objective. Some stranded allies that join me. I didn't protect their friends, but I'll still take free units. My army moves up the ramp and attacks the Zerg base. In the Zerg base, I find an Ultralisk, a big melee unit, so I hide behind some minerals. I destroy the rest of the base and hold position my army outside the next Zerg base. Lead the enemies in with a single marine. I can't control the timing precisely because the default command for hold position is something on the keyboard, but it's okay. I'm pretty sure that the only 5 keyboard buttons actually worth using are the 4 arrow buttons and hold position, because they don't need precise timing. Anyway, I continue destroying the Zerg base. Then I combine my strategies. Hold position my army at the bottom of a ramp, while my barracks flies over and distracts some Hydralisks. I hurry forward and attack. This mission has a time limit shown in the corner, which wouldn't be a problem if I were just doing the objectives, but with the challenge I set for myself, it looks like it'll be close. I build bunkers in my base so that I will be ready for the Zerg drop pods. I continue attacking the Zerg base, but soon I send away part of my army. Because near the end of the mission, Nidus worms spawn. If I leave them, they would spawn more Zerg. Instead, I destroy the worms quickly. I continue attacking the Zerg base. I leave some marines by both positions where Nidus worms repeatedly spawn. Soon other Nidus worms spawn. I destroy most of them, but the Zerg spawn too fast at the end of this mission, and some of them survived. I unlock the armory where I can spend my credits between missions. I buy combat shields, extra hit points for marines, and Projectile Accelerator, extra range for bunkers. I go to Agria for the evacuation. A medic rescues the hidden money before I claim my base. I send my fire bats and medics along the road. They find some burrowed Zerg and some more money. I can afford many marines, and I do 2/3 of the bonus objective. The Zerg have 2 main bases. I bring my army outside the sparser base, then repeat this process. Send in some marines, hit something, run away, and destroy whatever Zerg follow me. I send my fire bats away before I attack a spine crawler, since it deals extra damage to armored units. With my army on sweep, I should be careful and target the banelings. The main objective is escort my allies. The Zerg can't pass my army here, and I put a bunker full of fire bats by their other base. My marines continue destroying the Zerg base, and I finally make more medics. But I don't mine any gas. I got enough from the pickups. Eventually, my army can overwhelm the rest of the Zerg base. I move into range of the main production structures, and I see some eggs, but I ignore them. They have too much armor. I can beat whatever hatches, including this Ultralisk. My ally sends their 4th APC, and some Zerg land in drop pods. So some of my units join the allied marines for the escort. I make more barracks, complete the bonus objective, and destroy the remaining burrowed Zerg. I gather my army near the remaining Zerg base with a floating barracks for vision. Just like before, I lure them away from their spines, then I attack. Meanwhile, my ally sent another APC, and a Nidus worm spawned, but my marines are ready. I continue attacking the Zerg base, very carefully. More Nidus worms spawn, so I haphazardly rush and attack them. This looks like the end of the mission. I got 42 of 50 colonists, and this group contains 12, so I would rescue 54 total, unless...
Those are innocent people! What are you doing?
Let's do this.
You're killing more of my people, you monster!
I convinced my ally that they need an extra escort. This will let me rescue 65 total colonists. While I wait, I destroy the rest of the Zerg base. Around the neutral settlements, I found some creep tumors. I sent some marines to them. A barracks to trash the last corruptors so my marines can destroy them. I had a good army with the escort, so I could beat the Zerg right after they spawn. The remaining enemies are some creep tumors and one overlord that my marines can't reach. But my missile turret's range is longer. I send some marines to the last creep tumors right before the mission ends. Between missions, I buy Neosteel bunker for extra slots and Stimpacks, Marine's active ability. The next mission is Outbreak. This mission has a timer for days and nights. During nighttime, the infested attack, so I defend. During daytime, I destroy enemy buildings for the main objective. This is easy but slow. For the remaining nights I had bunkers, so I and my allies were very safe. Eventually I decide that I have enough bunkers. They contain all my regular marines, but I also have mercenary marines, war pigs. Mercenaries are elite versions of units with extra health and damage, but limited availability. My war pigs and medics stay out during the night for the bonus objective, and eventually I destroy the remaining structures and finish the mission. I unlock the laboratory where I can choose rewards for my research points, mostly earned from bonus objectives. I select Fortified Bunker, more hit points for bunkers. In the armory, I buy Stabilizer Medpacks, which improves the medic's heal ability. The next mission is the Devil's Playground. Lava occasionally covers the low ground, so I hide on the high ground. I rescue some Reapers, and then send them right back. They jump up the cliff to where they were stranded, and rescue some money. I build some bunkers, and put my Reapers in them for safety. I use War Pigs and Medics as my main army, so I easily beat the Zergs. I can let the Zergs surround me, and it doesn't matter. War Pigs are just that good. For the bonus objective, I fight this Brutalist. The speed from Stimpacks helps me kite. This gives enough research points for Perdition Turret, a flamethrower building. The next mission is Welcome to the Jungle. I meet the Protoss here. They're advanced aliens with powerful units, but my bunker is more powerful. My Goliaths beat a probe stopping the ritual, then run away. They're clumsy mechanical units, and my medics can't heal them. Instead, War Pigs and Medics will be my main army. The Protoss attempt their ritual at another altar. The objective is don't let them do 7, but I won't allow any. My Marines run past some photon cannons, and I build a bunker for them. My Goliaths and SCV ran past earlier. The Protoss will attack this bunker instead of going somewhere less convenient. When I attack the Protoss, they make new units in front of me with warping technology, so I flee. My War Pigs are very busy, destroying pre-placed enemies and protecting the altars, so I built some bunkers replacing their defensive role. I flank the Warping Colossus. When the Protoss attack, my bunkers target their void rays. These bunkers are great, so I build more right outside the Protoss main base. The floating factory is for vision. I lead the enemies out of their base to my bunkers. I don't dare go further with the Colossus around, but they can build more. The Colossus area damage combined with the other Protoss is just too much, so it may seem like I'm stuck, but I would be fine if they didn't have Colossus. Maybe I should procrastinate. I gather all the Terrazine, but I don't submit it yet. That would end the mission. Let's try this again. I don't see any more Colossus. This is my chance. I stop on the ramp in the low ground and target the robotics facility, the structure that can produce Colossus. Avoid the Zealot. It's gone. Retreat. Okay, I can let my bunkers do their job. I'm safe. What? Another Colossus? Where did that come from? It's okay. I move up the ramp and a storm. That's right, enemy. Spend your energy. With the Colossus and storms gone, I can finally break the Protoss base. Eventually, I find another robotic facility. still my priority target.
Yes, sir.
I beat the final Colossus and most of the Protoss base, but I'm not done yet. The enemy has observers, cloaked units. My missile turrets can detect them and destroy them. I get the bonus objective and beat the remaining enemies before I finish the mission. The next mission is Haven's Fall. I get Vikings, air-to-air units. The enemy sometimes sends overlords towards my allies, but my Vikings and missile turrets stop them, so they can't stalk the infestation event or spawn more enemies. My war pigs and medics beat 2 Zerg bases, with some help from a bunker. I surround the final base with bunkers. My Vikings lead in the Mutalisks, and then beat the Broodlords. With the skies secure, my war pigs and medics go in, and avoid the Banelings. But eventually, we can destroy the base, and end the mission. I research Ultra-Capacitors, attack speed from attack upgrades, I buy Phobos-Class Weapons System, extra attack range for Vikings, and Hell's Angels, the Viking mercenaries. They will be my main army in the next mission, Smash and Grab. I fly to the back of the Zerg base, then land. That's right, Vikings and Hell's Angels can transform. As a ground unit, their attack can hit other ground units. My main base is quite safe with these bunkers and engineering bays. When too many Zerg find my army, we lift off and fly away. After the Zerglings leave, my army returns. I bring a command center and drop some SCVs for repairs. When a Mutalisk attacks, I lift some Angels so I can hit it. I secure my territory with a bunker, and my Hell's Angels destroy the rest of the Zerg base. Zerg drop pods land along this path, so I build some bunkers.
I can't build here. Very well. Inbound.
They delivered creep tumors. Next I attack the remaining Protoss, and get the relics for the bonus objective. My Hell's Angels are just better than the Protoss. I destroy the remaining overlords, then I start the boss fight. My command center distracts them so I can fight each individually. After I beat them, the mission ends. I research microfiltering, faster gas mining, and I buy dual fusion welders. SCVs repair faster. The next mission is Ghost of a Chance. Most of it is easy because I have a cloaked hero with strong abilities. I mind control Japan's Revenge and use it against some missile turrets. My ground units couldn't reach these turrets. For the sake of the challenge, I cancel mind control before I execute the unit.
Executing.
I mind control a full health Viking and land it next to this missile turret. It barely survives. The enemy Banshee cloaks, but my Raven detects it. I get a Hell's Angel for another turret. I find a cloaked Spectre. 2 hits and it's gone. I use the siege tank's long range against other inconvenient enemies. This unit is amazing. I should really unlock it. I buy both ghost upgrades, then I start the dig. The beginning is easy because I have siege tanks. They work well on the high ground, or behind a bunker. I gain control of the laser drill. It deals good damage with absurdly long range. I use a floating building for vision, and the laser drill destroys the base. I defend my base with cloaked ghosts. The Protoss can rebuild here, so this time will be more tricky. I float behind their nexus and secure the position. When my command center is damaged, I drop SCVs for repairs. The drill destroys the nexus, then the probes. After this, they can't rebuild. I build missile turrets onto the observers, then destroy the door and the last Protoss structure. For my siege tanks, I buy both upgrades and the mercenaries. Normally, Whispers of Doom would be next, but I can't do that mission with this challenge. And I need Wraiths for the Mobius factor, so I reluctantly choose my next mission, the Great Train Robbery. I find some mineral and gas pickups, and 6 free Diamondbacks that destroy a train, which drops more money. I don't need automated refineries. I send my Diamondbacks into an enemy base. They can finish what my siege tank started. Siege tanks can attack further than they can see, My bear explodes for vision, and my siege tank beats their siege tank. I'm multitasking so much that I don't watch all the fights. Hell's Angels on a cliff beat another siege tank, and I use them in the air for vision. Trains go to my siege tanks while my Diamondbacks claim the end of the tracks. When the enemy leaves their base, they meet my bunkers. They should be contained. I continue the attack. Hell's Angels land by a siege tank, and Diamondbacks beat a bunker. I'm ready for both Marauder kill teams, but only one spawns? Is this a glitch? I surround the Dominion base, and move in the front. Hell's Angels beat the air units, and siege tanks do the rest. What? The Marauder kill team just spawned, much later than usual. I guess it's part of the glitch. I beat the final escort, send my siege tanks away, and let my Diamondbacks finish the mission. I buy Orbital Command, abilities for Command Center, then start the mission Cutthroat. I put my Marines in a bunker, since spider mines aren't allowed. My Vultures collect the scrap. After I get my mercenaries, I attack the enemy base. I scan and find a cloaked ghost that had a nuke for me, but it's better to give than receive. I research Automated Refinery, a structure that mines gas, I buy Rip Brave Missile, area damage for Vikings, and Advanced Constructions. Multi-build. The next mission is Engine of Destruction. As an extra challenge, I won't allow any damage to the Odin. My Hell's Angels beat a battlecruiser with some help from Marines in the Odin. Then my Wraith survived, so I beat the second battlecruiser barely fast enough. I scan and attack a bird Perdition Turret from out of its range. Then I quickly destroy the enemy infantry right before the Odin arrives. My buildings land, and the Odin is trapped. The Odin walks to a corner and dances. Siege breakers and bunkers defend my base. I make some ghosts and attack. They outrange the detectors, then the enemy can't see them. I save the boss fight for the end of the mission, put my ghosts and war pigs in bunkers, and beat the Loki. I research Hercules. I didn't know it yet, but this was a big mistake, and I don't build any. But back to some good decisions. I buy Fire Suppression System, buildings heal themselves. The next mission is Media Blitz, and I get the Odin. I move forward before I attack so I don't kill any civilians. I know I stepped on someone, but that was a scientist, not a civilian. In the sneak attack, I destroy most of the factory base, leaving only some irrelevant buildings. Then I go to the starport base, destroy most of their Vikings and all of their starports. I keep the Odin away from civilians, and instead my mercenaries destroy the remaining enemy bases. During the broadcast, my Vikings and Ghosts quickly destroy the Medpacks. If I let them escape, they would despawn, which isn't allowed. I buy both Marauder upgrades. Next mission is the Mobius Factor. I rescue some mercenaries on roofs, and attack the Zerg running past. Medics and biological mercenaries are my main army. I rescue the remaining stranded allies and send Spartan companies away in Medpacks. They destroy the data core with barely any time left. This prolongs the mission. I spent the time destroying Zerg bases and building my terrible fleet. Raids. I damage a data core, but Nidus worms respond, while a Medpack delivers reinforcements. This is the maximum number of war pigs together. I attack the Zerg main base and leave my army behind since enemies will spawn here later. I can't land on some of the platforms with Zerg. Luckily, the spore crawlers are close enough for my siege breakers. Then I remember the timer and target the data core. My wraiths find an enemy that only they can destroy. I attack the final data core and the Zerg that spawn around it, but I couldn't beat the Queen of Blades.
Confirmed. The final data core has
An enemy without a health bar.
We should evacuate immediately.
I continue anyway, research cellular reactor for more energy, and start the secret mission, piercing the shroud. The turrets are enemies that must be destroyed, so I skip the first circle of power, and the third, since it gives a timed life to the warbot. But the mission is easy since my hero is so bulky, and I introduce the Brutalist to the Dominion.
That hybrid is virtually indestructible.
I just can't do it. Another mission with one enemy left. I research Science Vessel, a new unit, and continue my disappointment. The mission Supernova is too difficult for this challenge.
Understood.
So I load a medevac, fly past my enemies, and let them survive. The problem is the firewall. It crosses the map and burns whatever it touches. And my automated refinery can't fly away, so my only option is end the mission before it burns. The cutscene has units lost that affect the score screen, so I skip it. I didn't destroy all enemies, but my stuff wasn't destroyed either. Back to the regular challenge. Mar of the Void should be an easy mission. I get battle cruisers, which are strong but expensive. I find some resource pickups, and Hell's Angels land on them. The mothership cloaks its allies, but my science vessels detect them. Occasionally, the mothership teleports away, but my science vessels heal my fleet before it returns. I destroy the mothership, then the other enemies. The next mission is Whispers of Doom. Enemies fly away and despawn. I tried chasing them, but some still escape. I couldn't protect all my allies either. They're just too aggressive. If I complete the main objective, too many enemies would spawn. Instead, I blink past this door. I can't reach the Mutalisks, so I nudge the Overseer, my hero stuns it, then the Mutalisks notice and fly over my Stalkers. I end the mission without any enemies on the map. The next mission is a Sinister Turn. I use Immortals and Archons because they are my strongest available units. I attack the enemy bases, which is easy because Immortals deserve their names. But Immortals can't hit air units, so I lure them away from their base to my Archons. The bridge limits my movement into the final base, but it's fine, I can hide from the hybrid. I destroy the War Prism and don't let it fly away before I finish the mission. Echoes of the Future is next. My Dark Templar destroy the Nidus Worms quickly so they can't despawn. I attack using Stalkers, Colossus, and my hero. This army can go on cliffs and avoid danger, so I easily destroy all the Zerg on the mainland. Ground units can't walk to this platform, so Colossus attack with their long range, then Stalkers teleport on with their blink ability, which also helps my Stalkers avoid danger while destroying the Zerg. The entrance to the next Zerg base is too dangerous for my Stalkers, so my hero goes alone. The Zerg attack my hero, but my Colossus roasts them, and then my Stalkers can blink across safely, and destroy the rest of the Zerg base. I stormed the Overlords in the center, but I couldn't beat the doodads in the corner. I buy Defensive Matrix, Battlecruiser Shield, and Jackson's Revenge, Battlecruiser Mercenary. Next mission is the Gates of Hell. Allies send drop pods of reinforcements, so I rescue them and put them in bunkers. Enemies spawn between my base and the drop pods. If I let them live, they would despawn, but I beat them quickly with Cloaked Ghosts. I also lure some back to my base. When two drop pods arrive at the same time, I hurry, quickly rescue one, snipe some Broodlords along the way, then rescue the other. Next time, I send air units to the group that can't hit them, while Ghosts beat the other. Ghosts are amazing against Zerg, so I easily beat the enemies on the mainland, and sent battlecruisers to the others. The next mission is Belly of the Beast. I get 4 heroes that must survive, so I mostly play the mission normally, but Flaming Betty and hero incapacitations aren't allowed. I rescue other units, but they mostly stay in the back for their own safety, while my heroes beat the majority of the Zerg. In the boss fight, I target Ed so the Queen can't hatch them. I send a hero in front. The Queen stuns my army, but targets my hero, so all my units will leave the tunnels alive. I research Tech Reactor and Panther's Range Disruptor, 2 new buildings. I buy both missile turret upgrades and shockwave missile batteries, new attack for Banshees, and Dusk Wings, Banshee mercenaries. The final mission is all in. On each side, I start with a bunker, but build a second and some Perdition turrets. Since my starting infantry fill exactly 5 bunkers, I build another near the mercenary compound. I move my starting siege tanks near the geysers and build Perdition turrets next to them. I am ready for the Zerg drop pods that will land on my base later, but I kept my defenses cheap so that I could afford my fleet. 5 battlecruisers and 4 science vessels start the attack. My battlecruisers use their shield, and my science vessels heal them from behind. The enemy can't deal enough damage in this battle as I cruise over their hives. The Zerg flyer attacks and drop pods started. Hell's Angels beat the first flyer attack, then leave. war pigs go in bunkers near the artifact, I could use some Panthers grenade disruptors and more missile turrets. My science vessels spent their energy, so they stay behind with Banshees and Hell's Angels. Most of the Zerg left here can't attack air units, and my battle cruisers destroy some spore crawlers before they leave. The fleet stops for repairs, Jackson's Revenge, and fresh science vessels, then flies towards the next Zerg base before the Queen of Blades arrives. Her implosion ability can destroy mechanical units in one hit. Although siege tank's range is longer, they're not ideal because the Queen of Blades has some special damage reduction, but it barely affects war pigs but still deal good damage. The Queen of Blades deals bonus damage to structures, but is confused by the terrain, so I can repair the bunker safely. I got siege breakers for the main defense. They should be enough. My Banshees are almost done with the Zerg stragglers here when I beat the Queen of Blades, so these mechanical units can return to my base safely. My battle cruisers are still busy in the Zerg base, and my Banshees join them. Hell's Angels help at my base because the air attacks contain Broodlords. The Queen of Blades is back. Papa Square Interrupter reduces Zerg attack speed, so 4 SCVs repairing the bunker is plenty. Meanwhile, my fleet continues destroying the Zerg base. I make a marauder and take the rest out of their bunkers, gather my fleet, and then I wait. After the Queen of Blades passes, I send my fleet to the Zerg main base, destroy other nearby Zerg with the artifact Nova. What's this, a new ability? The Queen of Blades learned Razor Storm. It deals area damage, but my Marauders can run away and survive. And the AI thinks that 7 Marauders are a better target than 3 SCVs and 2 bunkers. The fight didn't last too long because I had 12 war pigs with Stimpacks. The fleet retreats before the Leviathan arrives. Defensive Matrix protects the fleet, and soon I beat the Leviathan. But the Zerg rebuilt at their base. I attack the Zerg some more, but soon I move away and let the Queen of Blades pass. The fight is mostly the same as last time, but I let my siege breakers participate, although their damage to the Queen of Blades is negligible. I send my fleet back to the Zerg base, where they rebuilt again. But this time my fleet can stay longer, so I destroy the base. The Queen of Blades comes one final time. I beat her again, but the Zerg send too many drop pods, and spawn from off the map. In the cutscene, I realized, although I beat the bases, I failed the challenge. Let's review why I failed this challenge. In the mission Piercing the Shroud, I didn't destroy the enemy hybrid. In the mission The Mobius Factor, I didn't destroy the enemy Queen of Blades. In the mission Whispers of Doom, some enemies despawned. And in the mission Echoes of the Future, I didn't destroy the enemy Doodad in the corner, or the enemy Overmind tendrils. This challenge might be impossible for these 4 missions, or maybe I just don't know the right glitch. I also skipped some missions, including the mission In Utter Darkness. One of the main objectives of this mission is let all my stuff be destroyed, which contradicts the challenge. The enemy doesn't have much at the beginning of the mission, and I can easily beat what they do have, but they send replacement crawlers from off the map, which is also where the main attacks come from. So I couldn't do the challenge, or a reasonable approximation of it, for this mission. In the mission Breakout, the objectives are destroy the enemy base, and my only unit must survive, so the challenge doesn't affect it much, and I can play normally. But I didn't protect my allies. The challenge is more relevant for the other 2 missions that I skipped. Shadow the Sky has 4 platforms with coolant towers. The objective is destroy the coolant towers, but for the sake of the challenge, I'll destroy all the Zerg on each platform before I destroy the corresponding coolant tower. The platforms are themed, but the anti-air platform isn't actually any good against air units, so I can use my fleet for most of the mission. But I use mercenaries and bunkers for base defense. I destroy the coolant towers carefully, and I send my battlecruisers against the Leviathan for an easy boss fight. I skipped one other mission, Safe Haven. My starting units can beat the first Protoss phase. The theme of the mission is enemies that don't fight back when my Vikings attack them. This includes the terror fleets, so the bonus objective is easy. At the second Protoss base, my Vikings attack War Prisms and Colossus, but stay back, while the terrain blocks enemies so they can't go within range much. Then some Vikings land on the high ground, where the enemy can't see them, and some Vikings in the air where the enemy's closer. The final Protoss base doesn't have a convenient cliff or enemy move command, but I can lure the units out, and I built bunkers here earlier. The Purifier doesn't notice my Vikings attacking it, so I can end the mission with an easy boss fight. I failed the challenge for 4 other missions, and my only excuse is that it's too difficult. In the mission The Outlaws, I know what I should do against the enemy bunker, but I was too slow with the controls. The missions 0 Hour and All In both end after a specific amount of time, and although I'm fine for most of the mission, too many enemies spawn in too many places too close to the time limit. So I missed some, but the challenge probably is possible for both missions. For the mission Supernova, most enemies survived because the challenge is way too difficult, maybe impossible. So, of the 29 missions in Wings of Liberty, I successfully did the challenge for 20 of them, and the challenge probably is possible for 23 missions, maybe more. Thanks for watching, bye!